Hey everybody, Egan here from Madison. I want to talk to you about what's possible now with digital marketing and also introduce my upcoming digital marketing mastery class and see if you'd like to join. So first we'll talk about what can be done now, why digital marketing, also thinking about your website as a nexus. We can also talk about email lists, and then kind of looking at the principles, channels, tools, and testing that you can do when you're doing digital marketing and online marketing. And then, of course, where do we start? There's all these possibilities. What should my business or organization focus on? Talk about how we can measure our results of what we do and double down on what's working, cut the things that aren't working. And at the end, I'll talk about the format and cost of the digital marketing mastery course. So first, why digital marketing? Here's the high level reasons I think so. So this is where people are. Obviously, we're on our computers all day long. We're spending more and more time on our smartphones, and you probably see that all around you as well. And then the superior targeting too. So I'm contrasting this with offline marketing, which when we talk to prospects or clients, they're still doing some print marketing and things like that. So when I think of offline marketing, I'm thinking, billboards, wrapping a car, radio ads, newspaper ads, even traditional TV ads and things like that. So comparing those to what's possible in digital marketing, I'm going to argue you can target better. And then you can pay for results. You can pay to actually just bring people to your website. And in some cases, you can even pay for leads and sales. So ultimately, this can be more effective and can be cheaper. So that's a reason to think about it. And then what we're going to do is measurable. We can actually see we spent this much on this campaign and we got this many leads or this many sales out of it. And we'll talk about that. And then lastly, we're able to do quick tests, which in the past with sort of direct mail offers with mailings would have taken weeks and entire departments to calculate. That's the data that we just have right in our dashboards, and we can look more at that. No surprise here, newspaper readership has gone down, 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 particularly looking at, let's see, do I have the mouse here? Yep, from 1990 was kind of the peak, and then all the way up through 2010 and beyond, not that many people reading newspapers. That's probably not a shocker to anybody. And then what about TV, radio news, same sort of trend here. Local news down, down, down. Cable news down, down, down. Newspaper, we talked about that. Even magazines and things are down. The thing that's been up, no surprise there, people getting their information online, right? There's all sorts of stats about how much time people spend online, but when you think of we work on our computers, we're on our smartphones in between things, and then we're watching things on Netflix and stuff like that at night, no surprise that it's about half our day. And then how much time on mobile devices, it can even be 5 hours more, and this is from 2017, so this number could well be even more by now. And what about the targeting piece? So overall, we're going to talk about what are people searching for, and we can even talk about what have they searched for recently. That's a pretty good indication of what they're looking for, right? So that's where I like to start. Obviously, what their interests are, what sort of things they're into, and then their demographics as well. That could be age, gender, income, all sorts of things, geography. And then have they been to your website recently? Have they been to specific pages on your website? Have they been to other websites in your industry and your trades? That's something to think about. And then if we're doing B2B, we're going to be particularly interested in what job title does someone have, what industry are they in, and what's their role in their company. If they're particular people in a particular industry we need to reach, we have that option now. So paying for results. Impressions is someone saw your ad or your marketing. So if you're driving down a highway and you see a billboard, that's an impression of it. If you do a Google search and you see a Google ad at the top, that's an impression, right? So in the old world of you're running a radio ad, you're running a TV ad or newspaper ad, you pay per 1,000 people you're reaching, right? And whether they come to your website or not, you pay. What's going to be new is we can actually just pay for clicks, which means if someone clicks the ad and comes to our website, that's when we pay. All those other impressions, it could be hundreds or thousands of times someone sees our ad, but they don't actually come to our website, we don't pay anything for those anymore. And then conversions, this is when you're getting really advanced and you're doing very well with your digital marketing. You can say, hey, Google or Facebook, I want to optimize for conversions. Here's how much I want to pay. And that means we got a lead or we got a sale. So the end goal here is we want to get to measuring our results. So here's an example Google ad account. So we have different campaigns we're running. Impressions is how many times these ads were seen. The clicks is when we paid, and that's when people actually click to the website. The click-through rate is clicks divided by impressions. We want to watch that of how often our ads clicked. Average cost per click then. And when we multiply clicks by average cost per click, we get cost. Instead of how many impressions did we get? We just pay no matter what. We now pay for clicks, which is great. And then conversions, those could be leads or sales. And then how much does it cost us per lead or sale we're bringing in? And when that number is lower than the lifetime value or the lifetime profit we get out of a customer or a client, then we're really in business, because we can put more money into a channel like this and potentially get even more new customers or new clients. And likewise, when things aren't working, and I'm not promising this happens out of the gates, so you need to sort of look at what's going on. How's Google, Facebook, and Bing? When I'm running ads on these platforms, how are they performing? Are people spending a lot of time on our site? Are they visiting multiple pages? If they didn't actually fill out our form, what else did they do? So that's all information you can get as well. I want to talk about the website as a nexus. There's a lot of platforms that have emerged, obviously. So here's just Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. These are all relatively hot right now, right? And who knows what these could change in the future as well. But this is kind of where people are thinking of, I'm doing online marketing, I'm thinking social media. I want to problematize that a little bit. We're going to use social media. We're going to talk about that a lot in the course and in this talk. But what we need to think about is Facebook owns Facebook, LinkedIn owns LinkedIn, YouTube owns YouTube, whatever we want to think about, it's like that's kind of their land and we're sharecropping on it if we're using it. So probably the best use of these platforms is to get people interested, reach people where they're at, because this is where they're hanging out, as we saw on their mobile phones and things throughout the day. But we want to bring them to our website because our website is what we control, right? We can control the layout, we can control the messaging, the font, the branding, everything. Can't really change your font on Facebook, right? There's all kinds of parameters that you've got to do things to fit into the feed. And one of the big things that happened is people spent a lot of time getting likes on their business pages on Facebook a few years ago, and suddenly Facebook said, this is pay to play. You now have to boost your post to even reach the people who follow you or like you. So that's kind of the idea, is if we're working on sharecrop land, the rules and things could change on us anytime. If we can get people to the website, then we're really in business, because that's where we can show what we do. And then the dashboard and the analytics, we'll talk about building a dashboard and things like that, of what numbers do we want to look at, what are the KPIs, the key performance indicators, the metrics that really matter. But the thing that's important is once someone's on the website, we can get a lot of valuable data about how they're using that website. And we'll talk more about that. Likewise, so I would also say the website is a nexus, but also you can think about your email list or your email lists as major assets for your business that you want to grow and leverage heavily. Why? Because again, it doesn't cost you additionally to reach these people, right? So here's a screenshot from our MailChimp. Basically, if you go above a certain number of subscribers, you may step up on the service you have to pay for. But in general, it doesn't matter how many emails you send, you can just keep reaching out to people, right? There's reasons not to email people every day, but in terms of cost, it's not going to cost us. Whereas back on Facebook, now if we want to reach the people who like our page, we need to pay even to reach people who like our business page. So that's the idea. Website and email list, that's where we really want to bring people. Now, let's talk about some of the principles of digital marketing. So, not counting Facebook Marketplace, which is now kind of like the new Craigslist, do you ever go on Facebook to buy things? No. You're going to see your friends, you're going to see like family posts and updates and pictures of people's kids and whatever people are doing or arguing about, right? You're kind of going to hang out. It's the party, right? And you don't want someone to sell something to you at a party. So, how do we sell without selling? Well, we don't want to interrupt people. If we think about television shows back in the 90s or all the way back to the 50s, it was, how were television shows paid for? They would interrupt our show and show us advertisement, right? Well, we don't want to do that anymore. We want to ask permission. And this really comes from Seth Godin, who's a great entrepreneur and sort of marketing writer, and I recommend many of his books. This is a great one on this subject, which is get people's permission and then communicate with them. We don't want to hard sell them at the party. We want to say, yeah, here's a business card, come check us out. It's kind of that equivalent of let's talk later, but let's not lead with selling. Let's get into a conversation. And the other idea is sort of moving the free line. So on our website, we have a number of free checklists and things that we give out that, again, help people do what we do for a living, which is help people rank on Google, right? And help people get found online. So we can actually give away some of our knowledge, and someone goes to the end of our local SEO checklist and they can sign up, and we'll send them an actual PDF of, hey, if you go through and do all this, step, then you should be able to rank on Google. And then we get someone on our email list and they get something for free, so it's win-win. And we have a chance to communicate with them more. Now, when we think about persuasion, we're very fortunate because Robert Cialdini wrote a book, the book, on influence, the psychology of persuasion. And here's some of the principles he found based on interviewing and working with many sales professionals at the top of their game for many years. So here's some of the principles that come out of this book. Reciprocity. This ties right back into sort of our lead magnet of, hey, you want a free PDF? You want a free course? You want to sign up for a free webinar? Give us your email and we'll send that to you, right? So with reciprocity, it's we as a company, we're not trying to sell you first thing. We're doing something for you first, and then you at some point want to reciprocate, and that's the idea here. That's a very normal human thing. When someone lends you something or someone buys your dinner or whatever, you kind of feel in debt to them and you want to pay them back. That's only natural. Scarcity, you've probably seen of, we only have so many models left, you need to buy today or you need to buy this week or whatever it is. That's scarcity of, this is something that's going to run out. Authority is a little trickier, but you can probably imagine what that means of, hey, we're the #1 company in the area that does this. We've done this before. We wrote the book on it. This is who you want to. This is who you want to hire for this product or service, right? Or for this service. And then consistency. This one's interesting. Is someone commits and says, "Yeah, I'll take this little step. I see myself as someone who optimizes my website. I'm a search optimizer. Maybe then I want to learn about Egan's digital marketing mastery class or something like that." It's sort of you get people to put something in writing, and in the book he talks about in even door-to-door sales and things like that. If whatever you can do to get the prospect to write something down and commit to something, not a sale, but sort of a small mini commitment, that can go a long way. And then obviously liking people, we talk about how you buy from people you know, like, and trust. You've probably heard that. Well, liking is, there's ways to generate that on your website as well. Big mistake I see a lot of people making with this is they may have an About Us or a team page where they show their employees, but that's about it. There's stock imagery on the rest of the site or just sort of general images, and there's not a lot of videos of people talking. I think video is going to be the future of the web. It already is in the present in many senses. So the more you can have a face of the company or multiple faces of your company that people can get to know and like, that builds your authority and it builds people's liking for you. And then consensus is interesting. In our context here, we'll think more about social proof. Do you have testimonials on your website? Do you have a list of your clients or customers or things like that? Other people see the website and they say, oh, these people bought from them, these people are a client, I would like to be too. So it's kind of that social proof piece, and there's a lot of ways to do that in digital marketing. All right, what are the channels, tools, and testing? Now, when I say channels, I mostly mean what are the ways to bring people to your website? I start with Google. How many? So some of you are local businesses, some of you are not. That's okay. This is true for all of you. But something to think about is how many Google searches are there a day? There's about 3.5 billion. You can go to Internet Live Stats and you can see what it is for the day. And on some days we're cracking 4 billion Google searches, and this is only going to increase. What percent of that is for local information? For those of you who are local businesses, it's about half. Half of the 3.5 billion daily searches in the world are for local information. And then what percent of people who searched on desktop for local information visited the store the same day? 1 in 3, 34%. This is from a Google study. And then if it was on mobile, you think, I'm looking for pizza, I'm looking for a haircut, whatever it is, I need to change the tires, whatever service or product it is, I'm looking on my smartphone, Google, I've got money, where do I take it? Half the people who searched for local information on a smartphone showed up in the store the same day. And then how many bought? Almost 1 in 5. So people have money, they ask Google where to take it. So that's why it's really important to be here when someone searches for what you do. This is a search for pizza in Madison, Wisconsin. And guess what? The top places earn the most clicks. No surprise there, right? So that top spot on average gets about 30% of the clicks, and then it's half down to spot number 2. And by the time we're all the way down to second page, which has 10 more results, second page shares 4% of clicks altogether, those 10 results. So we want to be in these top spots, and ideally the top spot whenever possible. You can really see how that's worth money, right? So if you want to test where you're at, you should actually, if you're in Chrome, you do File, New Incognito Window. If you're in Safari, you do a private browser. There's some way to do this in Internet Explorer. I don't know how you people use that thing. Just get rid of it if you're using that, okay? Thank you. So you can check what other people see when they Google phrases. Why do you have to do this step? Google personalizes your results, and so hey, when I search for myself, I come up, Egan, I don't need SEO, thanks a lot. Well, actually, you're seeing your personalized results because Google knows you've been to your website, they know who you are, right? So you need to clear out those cookies and look to get an objective view of how are you actually ranking. there's tools like Moz and Ahrefs and other sort of paid SEO tools that can track this automatically for you. So if you have a lot of phrases you want to show up on Google for, you can see over time how you're doing. Otherwise, this is a perfectly free manual way to do it. So this is our bread and butter at Get Found Madison. This is really my specialty. So if you Google for SEO Company Madison, there's 6 pages of results, and we're in those top spots on page 1. So you can see us in the map pack there, and you can also see us #1 spot. So we really know our stuff when it comes to SEO, and that's part of what we want to train you on in the Digital Marketing Mastery class. If you Google for local SEO checklist, you can also just get most of this information for free because we're giving it away, and you can learn how we do what we do, and you can try to do it yourself. Now we're going to go through and teach this in the course, so it's a little more visual, and people can see step by step how to do it, but we talk about all of it in that blog post. Here's just one client of ours. This is one of our early clients. Is Training Gym, Madison, Wisconsin, functional integrated training. Notice they're in Fitchburg, and they show up #1 in Madison. So even if you're outside Madison proper, it's possible to rank locally. And again, don't worry if you're not a local business. There's this all applies for national as well. It's just a little harder to rank, but hard things are good because other people don't do them. So what does SEO entail? There's many things to it. Google looks at 200 factors when they determine what is the order, how do websites rank. But at a high level, this is what you do when you do SEO. You research keywords. You think about what people might Google if they're looking for you, and then you optimize your website based on what the data show are the actual Google searches people are doing, and then you build your website authority. And a big way you do that is you earn links to your site from other websites. So in addition to running Get Found Madison, I run SplendidBeast.com. This is an e-commerce site where people can buy custom oil paintings of their pet. No, I don't do the paintings, I hire the artist. But I own the website and I run the business and I do the digital marketing. So when I took this business over, one of the things I saw was, okay, we do pet paintings, pet portraits, etc. We're ranking okay for that on Google. But when I did the keyword research and found how many searches there were a month for each of these phrases, dog painting came up really high. So we needed to create a dog painting page. So I map out the phrases. Now, each individual phrase, if there's pet portraits, pet paintings, those can share. We'll target those with the homepage. That's fine. But dog painting, dog portrait, dog art, we made a decision and we said, let's make that a separate page. Let's have a page for cat painting, cat portrait, cat art, and let's target those, right? So the reason I really focused on dog paintings, and I'm using a free tool here called Keywords Everywhere. It's an extension in Google Chrome, the browser, and you can download it for free and get it set up, and it'll actually show you, when you do a Google search, how many searches a month there are in the US for that. CPC means cost per click. What would it cost to run a Google ad? That's an estimate. And competition is how many other ads are there, between 0 to 1. So a lot of people Googling for dog paintings, and we were on page 2 when I bought the business. So I said, let's create SplendidBeast.com/dog paintings, and let's optimize the heck out of this page. So this is just the top above the fold, and it goes down and down, and you can see all these dog paintings, and all of these are optimized for it. How did I do this? I use a free plugin in WordPress, which is a content management system or a platform for websites that I recommend, and a lot of what we're going to focus on in the course. If you're not on WordPress, that's okay, but I strongly recommend considering switching to WordPress if you're not on it. And if you're on it, great, because SEO is very easy on it. So we get this free plugin called Yoast, and then we plug in, see where it says focus keyword at the bottom here? I put in dog paintings, and I said, Yoast, how do I optimize then this page for this phrase, dog paintings? And it'll go through and tell me. And so if I've got red or orange here, I need to fix those issues. And if I'm doing green, that's great. I've optimized on that point. Yoast already knows some of the logic of what Google's using and says, here's what you need to do on your site. Well, guess what? A year later, we are now #1 in the country for dog paintings. And by the way, these images that come up, there's a T-Rex dog, girl with a pearl earring, just a standard dog in a field, and then one that kind of looks like Beethoven from that movie. Remember that? These are all Splendid Beast paintings. So we're in the image pack 4 times, and we're #1 organic. So 8,100 searches a month. We're ranking #1. So we're getting about 30% of these clicks on average. So this is a big source of traffic for us, and I'm able to see that. Again, #1 is really where you want to be. That's just showing that. When I go into Google Analytics, I can go landing pages and segment by organic traffic. / at the top are #1. That just means the home page. And #2 is dog paintings. So when I took this website over, we didn't even have a dog paintings page. I said, let's make one. Let's optimize it. And here we are. It's our #2 source of traffic. So we've talked about SEO. That's search engine optimization. Now let's talk about search engine marketing. also known as like search engine advertising, pay-per-click ads, things like that. And the big ones are going to be Google and Bing. Some people snicker about Bing. I don't have the study up here. I can show you the latest numbers. Bing is at over 20% search market share, and they're creeping up to 25%. Google used to be above 80%. They're now in the 60s. So Bing is the default on Windows machines. It's the default on Alexa. And a lot of people just sort of buy a computer, buy a device, and go with the default. They're not installing Firefox or Chrome. So Bing is one to think about as well. All the examples I'm going to show are Google, but I always encourage clients, particularly if you may have older clientele, people who may be using PCs or Windows machines, let's look at Bing as well. So anyway, when someone Googles for men's haircut in Madison, Wisconsin, we can see an ad at the top. Now I know what you're thinking, I never click the ads. If you don't click this ad, does it cost the business running it anything? No, it doesn't. This is a pay-per-click ad. So what we want to do is think about how valuable it is to jump right to the top and even capture a portion of these clicks. If we offer men's haircut in Madison, Wisconsin, this is where we want to be, right? And then only pay when people come to the website. So we're going to measure how our ads do, we're going to improve them, and then we're going to measure again, and we're going to keep doing this. All right? So again, our ad may show 1,000 times, we may get 50 clicks, and the cost per click varies depending on the phrase, right? But let's say it's $1 a click, and then we get one lead out of that. So not everybody who clicks to the website is going to sign up for a haircut, right? Let's say we get one lead, one conversion. Someone signs up for a haircut. Now, haircuts may not even cost $50 at our business, right? But if someone becomes a regular client, how much is that worth? So we had a local client that was a salon, and they actually told us a woman client is worth $1,400 per year. As a man, I had no idea women spend that much on their hair, but it's completely normal. So you're not just thinking about that first visit or that first purchase. You're thinking about what is the lifetime value, what's the annualized value. Can we pay $50 to get a new client? The other piece I would add here is looking at impressions. If you paid for a billboard or a bus stop ad or whatever you're talking about, you pay whether people come to the website or not. I've never had a radio station sell me an ad that said you only have to pay if someone comes to the website. But guess what? Google and Bing do that every day. And then, again, this is our performance, and we say, out of how many leads we got, let's take the cost we spent. So clicks times average cost per click gives us how much we spent. And by the way, there's no minimum. It's not like we need to spend $1,000. It's like we can test with $50, we can test with $500, right? So we get in there and we pay for clicks, and we say click times cost per click, right? So clicks right here, times cost per click tells us how much we spent. How much we spent divided by our leads tells us how much is it costing per lead or to bring in a new customer. And if this number looks good to you, you should do this all day long. You should reinvest more. If it does not look good to you, you should keep optimizing your Google ads and give them a good test for 3 to 6 months to see if you can get them there, because this can really be worth it. If you want more guidance on this, we have the 10 commandments of Google AdWords. If you Google that phrase, you'll see us at the top, and we talk through, here's how to run an AdWords campaign, and we're going to teach Google Ads in the course as well, obviously. All right, now we're back to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, right? This is quite a while. These numbers are a bit old here, but we spend a lot of time on social media. That's the long and short of it. Facebook has 50 minutes of your day each time. It wants more, right? So this is where people are hanging out. This is where we want to be. Half of 18 to 24-year-olds check Facebook when they wake up. 82% of millennials on it. 79% 30 to 49 on it. So if you're reaching anyone from 18 to 49 and sometimes older, this is where they're at. Now, is someone coming into this party on Facebook and trying to sell me something? Not exactly. If we look closely at this, and this one's interesting, I own a business, so they're selling B2B. They're selling to me as a business, and they know I own an agency or I do digital marketing, right? But notice it's a free 20 video course to learn email marketing. And obviously they want me to sign up for Drip, and Drip is owned by Lead Pages. So it's a email tool, and they have a landing page builder tool as well. So it's pretty smart. It's not we're coming in here and we're trying to hard sell you on something that's going to cost you $100 a month or whatever it is. It's, hey, we're going to teach you, and then you can use our tools, obviously, if you're interested after you do this class. So I want you to think in this way. If you have valuable content you can share for free, this is a great way to get it out there. Obviously for Splendid Beast, it's a nice visual business. it's paintings of pets. What's not to love about that, right? So when we run this, when we run this to pet owners, so when we run this ad to pet owners or to people who are interested in dogs, it does great. Look at these results. So people are commenting on this ad and they're tagging there. They say, "Hey, fiance, I could use one of these for my birthday," right? And when they tag someone else and that person sees it, I don't pay a dime. So that's free advertising for me. And when it gets shared this many times, I think this was one we ran around the holidays, it just drives my cost per click down, 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 down. I was paying well under $1 a click to bring people to the Splendid Beast website for this. So this is a really strong opportunity. And then Instagram is more and more popular. Obviously, that's more something people use on smartphone, right? But you're seeing more and more people using that. And guess what? You can run ads on that. And you can do them right from within the Facebook ads platform. So it's not even a separate one you set up. Facebook owns Instagram. We can run it right in there. Now, you don't always just have to pay. There's all kinds of organic strategies as well, and we can talk about those. So on Instagram, you can be active. You can be posting regularly. And importantly, you should be following other people. You should be liking and commenting on their posts and interacting, right? And now there's all these opportunities to direct message right on Instagram. So this is where people are hanging out. There's plenty of paid strategies, and there's plenty of organic strategies too. This is only going to get bigger and bigger, particularly as people are looking for an alternative to Facebook. And then LinkedIn ads. Selling B2B, guess what? The businesses you're trying to reach can be on LinkedIn. And not just LinkedIn, but Facebook and LinkedIn and Google all have networks as well that are outside the platform. So you could technically run a Facebook or a LinkedIn ad not on those platforms. You could be on other websites and see a LinkedIn ad or see a Facebook ad. So it's on their platforms and it's within their network of websites around the web. And you can target certain industries, certain geographies, certain job titles, whatever you want. This is who you want to market to. Let's target. I mentioned the banner ads. This is a Google display ad. So within the Google Ads platform, you can create these visual ads and you can show them to people who say already visited your website. And as of about last November, Google rolled out, you can show them to people who recently searched for particular phrases and visited certain kinds of websites. So normally you're running some code in the back of your site to bring people back to your site. Most people, 90+%, are going to leave without buying, without becoming a lead, right? So you want to bring them back with remarketing. When you looked at that pair of shoes on Amazon and you didn't buy, suddenly you saw it everywhere. You saw it on Facebook. You saw it on as you were reading the news. That's remarketing, and you can do that too. But that's not all you can do. You can target, again, this is based on income, geography, all kinds of factors, and Google knows what people have been searching and what websites they've been visiting. So this is very powerful. I think it's underused. All that same targeting I just talked about, same story on YouTube. Now you've probably watched a YouTube video, you've seen this little skip ad down on the bottom right, and you said, I don't even watch these ads, right? When you skip that ad, it doesn't cost this advertiser anything. So this is a way to get in front of people. You need to spend that first 5 seconds before people can skip the ad to give them a reason to keep watching. If they skip, that's okay because it doesn't cost you anything. The people who are going to watch on, you want them to be the potential customers. So this has a lot of potential. And again, target based on they were at your website recently, they searched things recently, they visited certain websites. That's extremely powerful. Think of what you're used to do potentially on TV and think of sort of video ads and think, run them here because this is the #2 search engine. Google, it goes Google, YouTube, Bing. This is where people are hanging out, and they're spending more and more time on it every day. So get here. And then obviously email marketing, we talked about that. Don't just say subscribe for our updates. Never, never, never say get on our email blast. Nobody wants to be blasted. Stop saying that, okay? Give people a reason to get on your email list. Give them something free so they sign up for that, okay? And then more advanced email marketing is automated. So they get a string of emails. If they open the first one, we send them another one. If they didn't open the first one, we may send it again with a new subject line, right? You do all kinds of automations down the way so that you're marketing to them over and over again, and it's just completely automatic. All right. We're bringing all these people to our website. Sure hope the website's converting. This is actually going to be conversion optimization is what we want to start with. Going to be one of the first classes we teach in Digital Marketing Mastery. So we want to analyze our Google Analytics data to see how our pages are performing. Under behavior, you can look at your exit pages. Where are people leaving my site? There's all kinds of other things we can look at in there, and we'll dig into that. You can actually watch screen recordings of people using your website. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. So I use this tool called Hotjar. And there's heat maps. So this is my website. I've got this code running in the background. and I see only 50% of people even scroll down this far. So this is incredible. And by the time I'm down to here's who my clients are, here's what we offer, here's who our clients are, only 27% of visitors even reach this far down on the page, right? So we can talk more about scrolling and what that means and things. But the thing I really want to show in here is this is somebody using our website. This is like I'm looking over their shoulder and watching them use the website. Let me play it again. I'm doing 2 times speed and skipping pauses. Let's do 1 time speed and not skip. So this is someone actually using the site. This was in the desktop, on desktop in the US using Chrome and Windows. They're clicking things, they're scrolling on down through, they're reading things over. Let me look at another one here. Let me go back to my recordings here. And usually I want to see, show me a recording in the United States. So I want to look at, I'm targeting Americans, so I want to see traffic like that. And there's going to be a number of bounces, so show me at least they spent 30 seconds on the site. Okay? Now, here's a new one here. 50 seconds. I have no idea what this one is, but let's take a look. A lot of people come in through we have a template people can use to ask for Google reviews. This is part of our content marketing, right? Let me skip the pauses here. And we can actually watch this person go through and scroll down. Now, when they enter personal information, it gets blurred out so we don't see that. But this is a great way to fix the user experience on your site or the UX and help optimize for conversion. This is pretty common. People scroll the bottom, see what there is, and then they scroll back up and look at it, okay? So that gives you all kinds of insights into how people are actually using your site. Let me just stop this so it doesn't keep playing. All right? You can also pop up question forms. Let me see if I have an example of that. Here's the heat map I mentioned. So again, I made a frequently asked question button. No one's clicking that. Do I need to keep that on? It seems like they're really going to the about page, which is interesting. I wouldn't have guessed they go home page and then about page. But I can see where are people clicking, where are they not clicking. On the Splendid Beast website, people often click on paintings and things that they're not buttons. And so they click and nothing happens. So that makes me think someone thinks this is a button. Other things that may be buttons, people are not clicking, and we could get rid of them, right? And then any information you can't find. So we added this same tool. This comes up after 30 seconds on a page on splendidbeast.com. You can check it out for yourself. And just find out, are people looking for information they can't find? And someone sent us a message recently that said, how come I can't get a painting of my dog? Which is exactly what we do on Splendid Beast, and we did not make that clear. So now we know to make that more clear, these are paintings of your pet. And then really in the advanced field, if you're getting hundreds or thousands of visits to your pages, you can A/B test them. And that is, we change a button over here, we change the headline text, you change one thing about it, and you show half the visitors one version of the page, half the other, and you go with the winner. And you can keep doing this over time and drastically increase your conversions so that all these people you're bringing to your website actually convert, or that we're making the most of all the website visitors we have. Alrighty, and so I understand there's a lot of different ways to bring people to our website. There's ways to improve our website so that more of the visitors convert, but where do we start? Where do we prioritize, right? So here's how I think about prioritization. At the top, do people search for what you do? Is there existing demand that you're tapping into? If so, look at SEO and SEM, meaning Google Ads and Bing Ads, because you know those people searching. You know when someone's searching those phrases, they are looking for what you do or what you offer. So that's where you want to be. That's the highest leverage point if that exists for you. Now, do they have particular interests or demographics? Now we're looking at Facebook, social media targeting like that, right? Google Display Ads, there's a bit of this as well. So in the case of Splendid Beast, we saw a lot of people, there are a lot of searches for dog paintings every month, which is wonderful. There's also people that could potentially be interested in dog oil portraits, but they don't necessarily know to search it. They're not actively looking for it. So based on our data, we know women 20 to 45 in the US are interested, our demographics are people who buy from us at Splendid Beast. So we could target them on Facebook and say, are they interested in dogs? Are they pet crazy, etc.? Then we can target that way. So that's kind of the idea. Now, for B2B, again, Get Van Madison, a digital marketing agency, like we sell to other businesses, so I can target marketing directors, head of sales, CEOs, etc. on LinkedIn. And you can do the same. And then recently, Google rolled out the idea of you put in a list of kinds of websites you want that people visited, and then you could start showing your display and your YouTube ads around the web. So that's really powerful, and not many people are tapping into it. You could really benefit from that potentially. All right, how do we measure our results? How do we show the boss this is working well? How do we show clients? How do we measure for ourselves? What are the key metrics? So in the first thing, we want Google Analytics, we want to customize it. So we want to know, did people sign up for email? Did they click to call us? Did they email us? Did they fill out a form? Did they hit the thank you page after a sale? Those are all important steps, and we have to do some extra customization, set up the goals in there, right? And then we can track which campaigns are doing the best. We can cut the losers, double down on the winners, and optimize over time. And we send this data, I should say, to Google Analytics, but if you're running Facebook ads, you want Facebook to have the closed loop as well. LinkedIn, same story. Google Ads, same story. So we can look in Google Analytics. That's going to tell us everything that's going on the site, how people got there and what they did, which is great. We also want to know, based on how much we spent on Facebook, how many sales, how many leads did we get? So we need to close the loop and say, if someone takes one of these steps, send the data to Facebook as well. So we're going to learn how to do that in the class. And then obviously remarketing, 90+% of people who come to your site are not going to take any of those actions we highlighted. So we need to remind them. There's this whole thing in marketing called the rule of 7. You want people to see you 7 times to get familiar with your brand and really actually be thinking about you. So this is a very easy way to do that. It's just like when you see those shoes on Amazon, you start seeing them everywhere. Same idea, you can do that for your organization. So Digital Marketing Mastery. This is the course I'm going to be offering. I'm going to talk about it here. So a little bit about where we'll focus. Obviously, we need to prioritize and figure out what makes sense to focus on for your business. There's a lot of things we'll do, a lot of things I want you to learn about in the class, but you don't have to implement all of them. Don't be stressed about that. It's really which ones are going to be the most important. Let's double down there. When we get a good channel bringing us business, then maybe we move on to the next one. So we get our Google Ads in order. All right, now we go to Facebook, now we go to LinkedIn, etc. All right, and then we want to create a online marketing strategy and a plan for you, and that's basically based on this prioritization. Where should we be focusing? What kind of content should we be creating? What kind of ads should we be running, right? We'll go over organic strategies, so that's SEO, that's optimizing the website for leads, that's conversion optimization, and then social media, we'll talk about some organic strategies there. In those cases, you're putting in time instead of money. You should also pair that, if you've got budget at all, with paid ads, because that's really where a lot of the power is in these platforms. And we're going to go over all these: Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Display Ads, YouTube. We can talk about Instagram. We can talk about Twitter if you want as well. So that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on. I can show you the syllabus here, and I'll have a link to this if you want to check it out. Basically, we're going to do Wednesdays most months. There's a couple Mondays in here. We'll meet twice a month. We'll do 60-minute courses followed by 30-minute Q&A if we're in person. Most of these are going to be on D'Onofrio on the west side until October. Then we're probably going to Mineral Point. All right, so we're going to cover all these things we talked about, like Google Tag Manager is how we send the data to the different platforms. We'll go in depth on Google Analytics, conversion optimization, SEO, Google Ads, all of it. So you have a primer, you understand the strategy and how these are, when you use these, and then how you implement them as well. So we'll have some step-by-step available for you. So that's kind of the idea on the class. And I want to talk a little bit about why I'm offering it too. So I want to benefit more people by sharing what I know. I see a lot of possibility in what can be done with digital marketing, obviously, and I want to share that. And I want to see more Madison businesses and organizations benefiting from it. And I think a lot of business owners and marketers could probably do more in-house. Oftentimes they come to an agency like Get Found Madison or another one and pay a lot of money to do this, and that's another reason. So when you hire someone else to do this, projects can range, in our case, from $24,000, including fees and ads, all the way up to $80,000 and sometimes more than that. So this is not cheap when you do it right, when you have a very dedicated sort of digital marketing plan and strategy that you're implementing. But you can save on this if you're willing to put in the time and learn some of these. And you can get, I think, 80% of the way there. And when you need help, then you hire contractors for specific things. If you still want to hire an agency, you'll be able to sort of supervise that better, and you'll understand what they're doing. And you won't be taken by anybody selling you smoke and mirrors. Okay, so what are the options? How does this work? I'm going to have a form. I'm just going to ask you, do you want to be in the class? Yes or no? And if you would like to take the class, here are the 3 options. So one is in person. Again, we talked about 60 minutes twice a month, 30-minute Q&A following that. You'll have online access, so if you can't make any particular course or if you want to review what you've already watched, you'll have lifetime access online to the video. I'll do a video re-recording like this of it. And so paid monthly, that's $150 a month for 6 months. Total is $900. Now, If you pay by next Wednesday, all in full, you can save 1 month's worth. Same thing, in-person Q&A, lifetime online access, and you pay upfront by next Wednesday. It's $750. Basically, you save a month's worth, and that's for everything. All right. And then number 3, if you can't really make the times we have outlined in the syllabus, Wednesdays at 3:30 are kind of the main ones, 2 Wednesdays a month at 3:30. Online only would be a good option. There's no Q&A, there's no interactivity with this option, but you'll have all the videos to review and kind of walk through and implement for yourself. So again, fill out the form. I'll have a link to it here, and let me know, is the answer yes? If yes, 1, 2, or 3. And then if the answer is no, it'd be helpful for me to know why. I'm not going to follow up and bother you with it. It would be helpful for me to know why this doesn't appeal to you. All right. Thanks so much. If you want to check out the syllabus, I did create a bit.ly link for it. So it's bit.ly/digital marketing mastery, separated by hyphens. Hope to see you in there. And again, this was kind of the first class, and the second class then is going to be on August 22. So I hope to see you in there, or at least have you online to check it out afterward. All right.